Hi, I'm 33 years old, and last week, my life blew up when my mom sent a 7-word text that detonated a decade of silence, guilt, and unspoken resentment. We gave your spot to Kevin's girlfriend. She didn't even write my name. And oh, sorry. No, hope you understand. Just a digital shrug. As if I were an Uber driver who got double dash booked. It was supposed to be Dad's 60th birthday trip to Japan. A once-in-a-lifetime cherry blossom pilgrimage, fully funded by me. $9,400 of flights, hotels, bullet train passes, restaurant deposits, and one hell of a custom itinerary I built between spreadsheets and conference calls. I'd spent 3 months planning the perfect trip, juggling work, and family expectations, like a sad clown with a corporate job and a martyr complex. Kevin, my little brother, the golden boy who once got praised for remembering to put pants on, decided to bring Madison, his girlfriend of barely 6 months. Mads, she called herself, like she was auditioning for a teen soap. She was the type who wore sunglasses indoors and made everything a bit too loud, and apparently, she was more fun, not smarter, not closer to Dad, not part of the original plan, just fun. The worst part, I wasn't even surprised. That text didn't spark rage. It sparked clarity. The kind that feels like falling through ice water. Clean, bitter, and sharp enough to split bone. So I did what nobody in this family expected. I replied with, "Got it." Then I canceled everything. Flights, hotel rooms, dinner reservations, bullet train passes, all of it. Wiped clean. Non-refundable? Don't care. I paid for it. I killed it. And that night, I changed the locks to the house they'd been living in rent-free for 5 years. The house with my name on the deed. The house I maintained while Kevin and Madison mooched off my utilities, watched my streaming services, and used my toothpaste like it was public property. The next morning, I went out for coffee, black, 1 sugar, sat at the window, watched the sun come up over the city skyline, and waited for the fallout. 3 days later, they landed in Tokyo to discover their hotel reservation was gone. 3 more days after that, they came back, and the locks changed, the rent tripled, the credit cards they'd tried to use declined, and me, I just stirred my coffee and waited at the door. But let me rewind, because before I iced out my entire family like a billionaire Bond villain, before I nuked a birthday trip and turned my brother's life into a cautionary tale, it started with one stupid idea: to be the good son. It started 6 months earlier, with the cake and a comment. Dad had just blown out the candles on his 59th birthday. In our usual way, awkward smiles, a Costco cheesecake, and Kevin showing up 40 minutes late with a crumpled gift bag, and Madison wearing stilettos in my carpeted house like it was a club. "I can't believe I'm turning 60 next year," Dad said, leaning back in the chair I paid for, sipping from a mug I bought, in a house I owned. "You always said you wanted to see Japan," I offered. Casual. Not even a plan yet. Just a thought. His eyes lit up. "Kyoto in spring," he said dreamily. "Before my knees give out." That'd be something. That was all it took. I started researching the next morning. See, I used to think that love looked like effort. I thought if I just tried hard enough, booked the right hotels, made the perfect spreadsheet, coordinated the most seamless travel plans, maybe I'd finally be more than just the reliable one. Maybe I'd be loved like Kevin was. Effortlessly, blindly, I found a cherry blossom forecast site. Booked 6 tickets. Me, Mom, Dad, Kevin, and yes, a spare. Not for Madison. At the time, I thought maybe Lisa, Kevin's ex. She was actually decent, polite, the kind of woman who wiped down the counter if she made a mess. Unlike Mads, who once left half a burrito in the fridge and wrote, "Do not touch" in pink Sharpie on the foil. Every weekend I spent poring over Google Maps. Hotels near shrines. Ramen shops with Michelin stars. I scheduled enough downtime so we weren't rushing. Enough cultural spots so it felt meaningful. And even worked in a surprise cooking class for Mom. I used points to upgrade my parents' flights. I booked myself an aisle seat on the cheapest budget airline with a 10-hour layover in Taipei. Because that's what love does, right? It sacrifices. It serves. But let's talk about Kevin. Kevin, the boy who once accidentally reversed his car into my mailbox and said, "Oops, it was in the way." The boy who dropped out of pre-law, then business, then whatever online crypto course he signed up for and never finished. Kevin, who somehow always landed on his feet because someone else was cushioning his fall. Usually me. He'd been living in the guest suite for a while. Just until I find something permanent, he said 2 years ago. 2 years. Madison moved in after a drunken July 4th BBQ and a long week where her roommate got weird. No one asked. She just started showing up with bags. Then a toothbrush. Then a full-blown skincare fridge in my bathroom. I let it slide. Because peace. Because family. Because Dad's 60th was coming up, and I thought if I just hold out a little longer, maybe they'll see how much I care. Fast forward to 2 weeks before the trip. I'm finalizing reservations when I get a group text. Hey fam. So slight change. Mads is coming instead of you. She's never been out of the country and Dad thinks it'll be more memorable if we all go together. You're the best Zoxo. I thought it was a joke. No one called. No one explained. Just a cheery little grenade lobbed into my day. I stared at my screen, the room going weirdly silent. Like the air itself was waiting to see what I'd do. So I wrote back. Got it. Then I opened my laptop, pulled up the master itinerary, and nuked it. Everything. Gone. Cancelled. Non-refundable. Who cares? Because suddenly, I didn't care about cherry blossoms or ramen or even my dad's knees. I cared about the principle, and for the first time in my life, I wasn't going to roll over and let them walk on me like the human floor mat they trained me to be. I was going to burn the mat, then set fire to the whole house. You ever realize, mid-sip of coffee, that you're finally the villain in your family story? It was about a week after I'd canceled everything. I was still half expecting a call from Dad. Maybe a quiet, hey, what's going on? Maybe some semblance of the man who used to walk me to school in the rain. But no silence. Not even a voicemail. Then on the morning they were supposed to land in Tokyo, I got a call. Not from them. From the hotel. Mr. Adams, we're contacting you regarding your reservation. The credit card on file has been declined, and there's been a discrepancy with the guest list. Discrepancy? A person not listed on the original booking has checked in using your name. So, that's how they did it. They didn't just steal my spot, they impersonated me. Used my identity to slip Madison into the suite. Used my card. Used my name, like I was just a faceless sponsor. A brand with a heartbeat. I remember setting my mug down real calm and asking the manager if I could speak candidly. Please remove all guests immediately. Cancel the reservation. And if anyone disputes it, tell them they're no longer authorized to use this card. A pause. Sir, the guests are still in the room. I'm aware, I said. They can find their own way home. Click. That was the moment. Not the text. Not even the fraud.it was the assumption. That I'd take it. That I'd always take it. It hit me like an epiphany. I wasn't family. I was function. They cut me out and still expected me to pay the bill. So I logged into my bank, flagged every charge, shut down the card, and filed a fraud report. Then I made some calls, changed the locks on the house, listed the furniture on Facebook Marketplace, cleared out the guest suite, boxed up their things, and labeled it all, pick up within 14 days or it goes to donation. They came back 3 days later, after what I can only assume was the most humiliating vacation in modern family history. No hotel, no spending money, no Wi-Fi. Madison barefoot, Kevin red-faced, my mom shrieking on the front porch like she was auditioning for a telenovela. I met them at the door, coffee in hand. Kevin, what happened to our keys? Me, oh, the ones I had wrecked. Yeah, they don't work anymore. He looked like he was about to implode. Are you serious? Dead serious. Mom tried to push past me. We just got off a 14-hour flight. We're exhausted. We need your trespassing, I said. This is private property. You're actually locking us out of your own family? Madison said, eyes bulging like I'd slapped a nun. I looked at her, blinked. You're not my family. Kevin's face crumbled. Okay, wow. This is messed up. We were stranded. I sipped my coffee. Must have been hard. Stuck in a foreign country. On someone else's dime. Oh, wait. That's what you did. That's when Kevin snapped. You humiliated us. You canceled everything. We couldn't even get a cab to the airport. You froze the cards. You froze everything. Yeah, I said. That tends to happen when you commit credit card fraud. My mom gasped. Like I was the villain for calling it what it was. I held up my phone. Screenshot from the hotel manager. Unauthorized guest. Charges disputed. Clear as day. Kevin asked, did you or did you not add Madison to the suite under my name? He opened his mouth, closed it, looked at Madison, she shrugged, and that was it. I stepped aside and let them peer into the house now empty. The couch? Gone. The TV? Gone. The clutter they'd piled up like they owned the place? All boxed or donated. Mom, you emptied the house. Correction, I said. My house. Kevin clenched his fists. We lived here for years. Without paying rent, I added. Without contributing. Without respect. Mom's voice cracked. We're your family. This is disgusting. You're punishing us for one mistake. I laughed. Just once. Sharp. Cold. One mistake? You stole my vacation. Used my credit. Kicked me out of my own plans for Dad's birthday because I wasn't fun enough. Madison rolled her eyes. You're being petty. You're just mad because we had a better time without you. That's when I stepped all the way outside. You think this is about Japan? I asked. You think this is about one trip? No, I said, voice low. This is about every time I gave, and you took. Every dollar, every compromise, every moment. I swallowed my pride because family, and then I dropped the bomb. You've got 2 weeks. Rent's tripled. Utilities are on you. Guest suite is locked. If you want to stay, you pay. Kevin's jaw dropped. You can't just evict us. Actually, I said, pulling the lease from my coat pocket. I can't. It's legal. It's done. And your credit cards? Declined this morning. I got the notification. That was when Kevin's mask cracked. He lunged, grabbing my arm. Please? You don't understand. I don't have anywhere to go. Madison, she thought this trip would bring us closer as a family. She didn't mean to hurt you. Madison opened her mouth to protest, then shut it. Kevin was crying, and I felt nothing. You were my brother, I said, and you traded me for entertainment value. Then I stepped back inside, locked the door, and left them out in the wind. 3 days. That's how long it took after they returned for the real chaos to start. The first morning was weirdly quiet. Too quiet. I half expected banging on the door again, or a flood of guilt trip texts from Mom. Her greatest hits, we're a family. You're overreacting. How could you do this to your father? But nothing. I made breakfast alone. Just me, croissant, black coffee, and the sudden realization that silence could be peaceful. Not empty. And oh background yelling. No Mads blasting TikToks in the living room. No Kevin raiding my fridge like it was his birthright. It was bliss. Then day 4 hit. My phone buzzed. Can we talk? Mom, of course. We're all hurting. This isn't you. Please don't do this to your father. I didn't reply. Not out of cruelty, but because for the first time, I truly didn't owe them anything. For years, I'd been the janitor of the family mess, sweeping up emotional debris they didn't even pretend to notice. But now, I was done cleaning up after people who never even said thank you. Then came the real fallout. Credit cards? Frozen. Madison tried to buy an overpriced coffee downtown and got declined twice. Push notification to my phone. I smiled. She posted a cryptic Instagram story. Some people are just vindictive, then deleted it 5 minutes later. Rent? Due the next week. At the new rate, triple what they used to not pay. Email from family@adamsmail.com. Hi, we're struggling with the increase. Can we discuss alternatives? No signature. Not even a love. Mom. Double quotes ignored. Jobs? Kevin, the man-child of leisure, the guy who once said, I'm just in a reflective phase right now, suddenly found himself folding towels at the gym. A friend texted me, dude, your brother's working front desk at my gym now. Wild. Was it petty to feel satisfaction? Maybe, but mostly I felt peace. I moved out. Got myself a downtown loft. Exposed concrete, tall windows, zero family drama. Just me. And oh more missing leftovers. No more random girls in my hallway yelling babe, where's your moisturizer? No more silence. That felt like waiting for a bomb to drop. This silence? It felt earned. I started waking up at 7 a.m. Hit the gym. Came home. Worked. Took long walks. Read books I'd been putting off for years. I'd go whole days without anyone asking me for anything. And I finally understood the phrase, freedom isn't loud. Week 2. Kevin finally cracked. Text from him, I know I messed up. I really do. Mads left. She said she didn't sign up for this. I get it now. You were right. I stared at it for a long time. This was the same guy who laughed when I showed him the Japan itinerary. Said I was trying too hard. Said I didn't know how to have fun. Now, he was alone. Madison gone. No job. No couch. No Uber Eats magically appearing in the kitchen. And for the first time, I didn't feel pity, or rage, or triumph. I felt nothing. Because finally, his life was his responsibility, not mine. Then the real bomb dropped. A letter from a lawyer. My parents were claiming partial ownership of the house, my house. The one I paid for, maintained, paid taxes on. The letter was weak. Something about contributions over the years, and financial interdependence. My attorney asked for documentation. So far, they sent a birthday card and a blurry Venmo screenshot for a $20 pizza they paid for in 2018. I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was so absurd. It didn't deserve anything more. They didn't want the house. They wanted to remind me they still believed they had access to me. Mom sent another message that week. We didn't raise you to be like this. What would your father think? I replied, you raised me to serve you. That ends now. She didn't respond. And I didn't care. 3 months. That's how long it's been since I torched the old dynamic and walked away from the human ATM role I'd been cast in since I was old enough to hold a job. 3 months of no free rent. No silent expectations. No, just this once, favors that turned into full-blown dependencies. And here's the strangest part. I don't miss them. Not a single bit. Not the noise. Not the guilt. Not the never-ending stream of obligations packaged as love. What I feel is stronger than relief. It's peace. The kind of peace that comes when your phone buzzes and your first thought isn't, what now? The kind where you buy groceries and everything in the cart is for you. You. Just you. No extra snacks for Kevin. No weird plant-based yogurt Madison swore she needed but never touched. No, can you grab us some LaCroix while you're out? Texts that arrived the second I hit checkout. I unpacked into the new place slowly, deliberately. Every object I kept, I chose. No leftovers from the family pile. No half-broken chairs from Dad's garage or dishes Mom said still had life in them. Just things I wanted. Things that belong only to me. And then, while sorting through a box labeled Misk, I found it. A folder. Yellow, frayed at the edges. Labeled in my own handwriting. Family stuff. I opened it and froze. Inside were old boarding passes. Hotel confirmations. Printouts from vacations I'd planned over the years. Stacks of receipts, all under my name. My card. My email. My burden. Every family memory we ever made. Built on my credit card. Photo after photo, me holding the camera, everyone else grinning. Me checking into the hotel, everyone else lounging. Me Googling directions while Kevin made jokes. Me juggling train schedules while Mom browsed markets. Me, always the one steering, always the one paying, and always the one left out of the frame. I sat there in my new living room, surrounded by silence and IKEA furniture, and it hit me like a wave. They never loved me. Not really. They loved what I did. They loved my usefulness, my reliability, my service, and when that stopped, so did their affection. I used to think love meant showing up, providing, fixing, sacrificing, but now I know that love without reciprocity is just labor. Unpaid labor dressed up in holiday sweaters and group selfies. Kevin hasn't texted since Madison left. I heard from a mutual acquaintance he moved into a basement apartment and started delivering food. Apparently, he's on a real self-discovery arc now. Good for him, I guess, but I don't feel proud, or bitter, or anything, just unburdened. Madison wiped her social media clean, unfollowed the family. No more Zoxo from Osaka stories. The fun ran out when the free lifestyle did. And Mom? She sent one more message last week. We miss who you used to be. I answered, you miss the version of me who never said no. He's gone. Dad, of course, stayed silent. He always did. Watching the family crumble from behind his newspaper. Neutral to a fault. always sipping his coffee while Rome burned. But I stopped expecting anything from him a long time ago. I used to think I needed their closure. Now I know. I just needed my own permission to leave. Last night, I sat in my loft with all the lights off. No music, no TV, just the city breathing outside my window and the soft hum of the fridge behind me. And for once, I didn't feel like I was waiting for something. Not a knock on the door, not a request, not another emergency dressed up as just a small favor, just stillness. Then I stood, went to the mirror in the bathroom, grabbed a sticky note, and wrote 6 words. I owe no one more than me. Stuck it on the glass. Read it out loud. Once, twice, then a third time. Like a prayer, and I meant it. That one sentence hit harder than any fight, any guilt trip, any long-winded phone call from mom about how I'd changed. Because here's the truth. I did change. I used to be the glue. Now, the gate. I used to be the fallback. Now I'm the firewall. And maybe that sounds cold. Maybe it even sounds cruel. But it's not cruelty. It's clarity. A few days ago, I ran into Kevin's ex Lisa at a bookstore downtown. We hadn't spoken since the breakup. She looked surprised to see me. You look good, she said. I shrugged. Feels good to sleep through the night. She nodded, paused, then said something I didn't expect. You were the only one who ever saw through it. The way they treated you, it was wrong. I always wanted to say something, but she trailed off. I didn't need her to finish. Because honestly, just finally hearing someone else say it out loud hit me harder than anything my family ever did. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't bitter. I wasn't too sensitive. I was just the first to wake up. Lisa hugged me before she left. A short, quiet kind of hug. The kind people give when they're not trying to fix you, just acknowledge that you made it out alive. After she left, I stood in the parking lot with the sun setting behind me and thought, this is it. This is what freedom feels like. Not loud, not triumphant, just honest, simple, steady. And now next week, actually, I'm flying to Iceland, alone. A trip I've wanted to take for years. Always put off because there was always someone else draining my time, money, and energy. But not anymore. I booked the flight, paid in full, reserved a tiny glass cabin under the Northern Lights. No group itinerary. No surprise, plus ones, no guilt, just me. And when I stand out there in the frozen silence, under that glowing sky, thousands of miles from every version of me that lived for other people, I'll finally say it out loud. I am not your safety net. I am not your backup plan. I am not your bank, your babysitter, or your fool. I am mine. The Northern Lights looked nothing like the photos. They were softer, slower, less like a fireworks show and more like the sky breathing. A quiet dance of color that didn't care if you were watching or not. No Instagram filter could touch it. I stood there in boots that weren't warm enough, breath clouding in the air, the kind of silence around me that city people forget exists. No car alarms, no yelling, neighbors, just wind, just me. And for once, just me was enough. I didn't think about the $9,400, or the years of unpaid rent, or the way Madison used to open my mail like it was hers. I didn't think about Kevin crying on the porch. I didn't think about my mom's last message, or my dad's unbothered silence. I didn't even think about Lisa's hug. I just stood there, in a place they'd never be, doing a thing they never would. And I let go of the guilt, of the anger, of the part of me that still wanted them to apologize and mean it, because I realized something standing in the freezing dark of Iceland, wrapped in every layer I owned and still slightly shivering. I wasn't healing because they changed. I was healing because I stopped waiting for them to. They raised me to think love was sacrifice, that the right thing was the hard thing, that if you were tired, it meant you were doing it right. But here's what I've learned. Love isn't a paycheck. Loyalty doesn't mean laying down like a doormat. Family isn't defined by blood, or last names, or holiday photos. Family is who shows up when you're not useful, and they didn't, not once. So I stopped showing up. 2. And maybe they'll never understand why. Maybe mom will always say I'm being spiteful. Maybe Kevin will tell people I changed after Japan. Maybe dad will keep sipping his coffee, quietly letting life happen to him. But I'm not bitter. I don't need revenge. I don't want to ruin their lives. I just want to live mine, For years, I was the bridge they walked across, steady, invisible, expected. Now, I'm the ocean. They can't cross me anymore. They can only watch from the shore and wonder how they lost me. And honestly, I hope they do. Not because I need them to suffer, but because I hope they finally realize I was the best thing they ever had. And they gave my spot away to someone more fun. Let them sit with that. I'll be here, watching the sky catch fire. And when I go home next week, I won't be returning to the past. Just a future I built for myself. With my own money. My own silence. My own damn peace. No one owns me anymore. Not my guilt. Not my mother. Not my brother. Not even my old self. Just me. And that is everything.